legend in my own mind. Hey, you know me better as the voice of some of the most popular cartoon characters in the world. Scooby-Dooby-Doo! Scrappy-Dappy-Doo! Puppy Power! Like in Shaggy too! And you've got the Sullivan Project podcast. It's coming at you right now.
What's up, everyone? This is Harold Sullivan. This is the Sullivan Project podcast. Let me get this off here. Hey Google, what time is it?
7:06 p.m.
Alright, so we'll do about. That's our tell time, man. Make sure I don't want to knock over. No, is the camera good? Whoa. It was about to fall too. Turn down. Yeah, I can't even touch that thing. Uh, yeah, in case y'all haven't tuned in before, I lost my sight a couple years ago. I was born disabled, and just, we all have a story, and you can't judge a book by its cover. That's what this podcast is all about. If you want to be on there as a guest, we do audio or video. If you want to leave any comments, or we appreciate shares, likes, uh, feedback, you can find us at Harold Sullivan 78 on YouTube, Harold Sullivan 78 on TikTok, Harold Sullivan period 35 on Facebook, and you can call in the show 724-513-1472. So I'm still having a little bit of problems with the rear end. It sounds funny, except for when you're going through it. It's been probably a week and a half now, and if you want to hear more about it, just go back to a couple podcasts ago. But basically, I have problems going, and I'm gonna tell y'all, just don't. If you got problems going, if you get constipated, just take something, because if you push too hard, you could hurt yourself seriously. And for almost 10 days now, I mean, I'm almost back to 100%. Knock on wood on that. Oh man, but for a few days, I couldn't, like, I almost couldn't sit. My tailbone was hurting because I just was having trouble going to the bathroom. I pushed, and I kind of almost fell in the toilet with my hands like up in the air, my arms, and everything just cut loose all at once. And I ripped myself. It felt like back there. And, it was the worst pain. You don't ever want to go through that. So it's funny, you know what I mean. But yeah, I don't want to have to go to the hospital. Nobody would, just because you got hemorrhoids, and I'm only about 70 pounds. So anyway, there's that. But I'm making it. I'm better, and I've been praying. So send me some good vibes, y'all. Hey Google, what did I want you to remember?
Ambient screen. Here's what you told me. First, Zombie Jaws audible stuff I've seen. Second, Elvis last
Hey
night
Google,
jumped
stop.
nap.
Okay, so I forgot to mention here, there was a podcast I just did about famous people or celebrities. So that one, there's a few. I met a few at a few of the conventions. I met some of the zombies from the Romero movies and a couple of the other actors. For instance, there was one called Helicopter Zombie, Machete Zombie. Then there was the Professor, who was in one of the movies. This was like 20 years ago. So, but I had probably 7 or 8 different autographs from the 3 Romero Zombies movies: Night of the Living Dead, Day of the Dead, uh, Dawn of the Dead. I met Bub. He was from around here. The guy who played Bub in the movies. It might have been more than that. I might have had about 10 or more cast members from those movies. And then there was a guy from Saw. I can't remember. He was from Saw 3, I think, or 2. But he was at a convention that I met. Not a main guy, one of the guys who got killed. He might have been Mexican or Latino. He had a ponytail, I think. Can't remember his name, though. Uh, I just got done listening to Journey of Souls, which is a very good book. I recommend it. I'll give you a couple of my best paranormal or enlightening books so far. So we go with that one. I put that in there. Journey of Souls. It basically talks about a doctor who hypnotized people so many years, and they were regressing all the way back to even before they were born, and they were souls, which is very fascinating. And when you start listening to this, you unlock stuff. I have the audio versions, but the regular versions are available. So, Journey of Souls. There's one called Many Lives, Many Masters, which talks about past lives. And there's one called, which is a new one called The Awake Dreamer, and then another one called The Afterlife Frequency. These are just four of the hundreds of books I've listened to over the last couple of years uh, since I lost my sight and becoming blind. So, uh, hey Google, what did I want you to remember?
Here's what you told me. First, Zombie Jaws audible stuff I've seen.
Okay.
Second, Elvis Last Train Children of Now Journey of Souls. Third, kids call
Hey Google,
Batmobile
stop.
sleeping.
Okay, now I want to mention Audible again. Uh, well, I mentioned Audible how it works the last time. I don't, I'm not sponsored by them or anything. But I wanted to mention about Google. Google does not charge a plan per month. That's pretty the main difference. Pretty much the main difference. Audible does, but they give you a credit with that. See, uh, Google has a bunch of free stuff, and they give you discounts. But it's pretty much, I don't know the same. But I just started using Audible, but I also have Google Play. So Elvis, The Last Train to Memphis, I just listened to. An audiobook I finished was over 22 hours or so. It covers up to when he went to the war and came back. So I learned a lot there. First of all, Elvis was born a twin who died right before him. Most people don't know. It could have been the Presley twins. Jesse Gayron Presley. And Elvis's middle name is Aaron, but it's with an A, Aaron. So it's an extended A. And Elvis dyed his hair black because he thought it looked better on camera. It was blonde and blue eyed. He was blonde and blue eyed. Elvis never wrote a song. All his songs were written by other people. Elvis didn't like to fly, so that's why he didn't really go overseas or do make it big over other countries, I guess. I wondered why, you know. And then another, because he was way before my time. I was born in '78. And then one more thing, Elvis was making $400,000 a week at one point, and he might have made more than that, but you know. And then Children of Now, I mentioned a little bit before. It's a book about the kids that are born, you know, every so many 20 years, 30 years. The Indigo children, the Star children, the Crystal kids, you know, and all these different names, Flower children. And talks about how kids are able to, especially babies, because the longer they're here, okay, the more they forget. And their minds are wiped. Basically, when you die, you get cleaned, and then you get your mind wiped after you get through all disease and stuff. And then, but the mind wipe takes place pretty much after you're born. As a baby, you start to forget everything, and you become a human instead of a spiritual being, basically. So, little kids can actually become orbs, and they can fly around as souls, and other people can too, gifted. But so that's why I was mentioning. If you ever get an orb, take a picture. If you ever take pictures of orbs, zoom in and see if you see a face or just a shape or anything, because there could be images that people can put in this energy ball, and it's pretty neat. Uh, hey Google, what did I want you to remember?
Here's what you told me. First, Zombie Jaws audible stuff I've seen. Second, Elvis Last Train Children of Now Journey of Souls.
Okay.
Third, kids call Batmobile sleeping at me a sentence field trips.
Okay. So when I was little, I was naughty, and this one girl I used to hang out with, we were probably real young. I was under 10, maybe 5, 6, 7. We actually called 911 once, and the police came right to the door. And I was just playing around, you know, but boy, they really showed up, and they were there, and it scared the crap out of me. So I don't recommend that. And this was back in the 80s, you know. And I didn't think they could, like, I didn't know what they were going to do or what they could do, but I just called them up and was joking around, and they actually, boom, came right to the door. Another thing, I got to sit in the old Batmobile. There was a guy who owned the original Batmobile from the TV show, the 60s show, and he used to travel with it. And like in the 90s or something, or early, I think 90s, or maybe late 90s, he was at the Beaver Valley Mall and charging $5 for an auto, or $5 for a picture, right? Just like a Polaroid, you get to sit in it and take a picture. So my dad got me one back then, and I got to sit in the old Batmobile for a minute. It was cool. Uh, Sleep apnea. I want to mention this now. This is just a theory, a scientific theory. See, I would, I would be up for volunteering for these kinds of tests. Okay, to prove between psychic and science, to try to prove these things real, because we can, if we get some kind of like people to actually study it seriously. Sleep apnea. Okay, what happens is you wake up before your body or whatever. Now, what if I'm leaving my body, or you're leaving your body, and your soul, you're waking up uh, before your soul is entering your body. So back to your body. So when you astral project and different things like that, you can actually leave your body. So I'm wondering if there's a correlation because I've been doing it more now, but I'm not kind of under control of it, and I know what's happening. So it doesn't scare me when I wake up and I'm not breathing. You know, once you're not afraid to die, you can live. That's a syllogism I've come up with. So I wonder if the waking up with the sleep apnea thing has to do with leaving the body or anything, psy, psy, uh, psychically. Hey Google, what did I want you to remember?
Here's what you told me. First, Zombie Jaws audible stuff I've
Hey
seen.
Google, delete the first one.
Done. It's forgotten.
Hey Google, what did I want you to remember?
Here's what you told me. First, Elvis Last Train Children of Now Journey of Souls.
Hey Google,
Second,
delete the
Kids
first
Call.
one.
Done. It's
I
forgotten.
also want to mention that I'm doing oils, essential oils, and jewelry I'm making free for people. I also have some old artwork figures I made, like superheroes and horror figures, and just different collectibles, all free, given away if you just pay shipping. I can't, I'm not rich, so uh, these are just things to help out people. Just started doing all this. I'm in the audio Bible now. I'm going through my eighth time, King James, and it lasted about 2 years now, a little over 2 years. King James version, uh, 87 hours of audio Bible. I recommend it. But here we talk about everything: sports, movies, entertainment, art, animals, spiritual, metaphysical, paranormal, supernatural, whatever. No judgment. You know, I'm I'm not the judge, just a messenger. All right, that came to me recently. Hey Google, what did I want you to remember?
Here's what you told me. First, kids call Batmobile sleeping at me a sentence field trips. Second,
Okay.
Dragon Unicorn Leviathan Satan.
Hey
Third,
Google,
Wood
stop.
Select.
Okay, so a sentence a couple days ago, laying in the bed, probably 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm wide awake, and I heard a sentence just clear as a bell. I don't remember what it said, but it was pretty high pitched and squeaky, kind of almost like either helium or something. I don't know, or robotic, but I don't know, but or a chipmunk, if you would say. But there was nothing on or playing. This happened a lot since I lost my sight. Occasionally, when I was younger, I would hear things here and there, but I just would discard it. And of course, I was into the paranormal, and I even have videos and lots of evidence. So go check those out on my YouTube and Facebook and TikTok. Uh, because I collected evidence trying to see, like, am I crazy? And I lived in a place of my own and got all kinds of evidence up there. So we got that. We got to see. Hey Google, what did I want you to remember?
Here's what you told me. First, kids call Batmobile sleeping at me a sentence field trips.
Okay.
Second, Dragon Unicorn Leviathan Satan. Third,
Hey Google,
Wood
stop.
Electron.
Okay, field trips. When I was younger in school, I didn't get to go on too many, but we did go to the Carnegie Science Center. I love that one. And we did that 3D Omnimax when it first came out. It was just like going underwater and going through space. I loved it. And then they had that model of like Pittsburgh and all that area with the little amusement parks and just how it used to look back in the day and like a little railroad train thing, little people moving. I was so like fascinated. Like just I used to always like miniatures and collectibles and creating and building things. What else? Okay, now we talked about supernatural and the Bible in the last podcast. 77. I think this is 78 here, I believe. Uh, so I forgot to mention Leviathan is in the Bible and in the show Supernatural. Of course, Satan is in there, and the cage, and all that, and the seals and stuff. Uh, let's see what else here. Hey Google, what did I want you to remember?
Here's what you told
This
me.
is how I take my notes.
First, kids call Batmobile sleeping at me a sentence field trips.
Okay.
Second, Dragon Unicorn Leviathan Satan. Third, Woods Electronic Socks by
Okay,
Brian
dragons. They mentioned dragons in there and unicorns. And then, like I said, they mentioned the clouds a lot, like somebody taking up in a cloud, which I think is a UFO. And all that's in the Bible: dragons, unicorns, and clouds. I don't know what they meant by dragons and unicorns. Unless that part was meant to be fiction. The Bible's very complicated. Uh, it's more than people realize, more complicated than they realize. So, hey Google, what did I want you to remember?
Here's what you told me. First, kids call
Hey
Batmobiles
Google,
stupid and
delete the
make fun of
first
them.
one.
Done. It's forgotten.
Okay. Uh, so, oh yeah, so people with psychic things and whatnot have a lot of problem with electronics. Okay, now I have that same problem. I don't like to wear socks either. That's another thing. Or if you don't like to wear clothes, these are all things that we have in common. There, star children, whatever you want to call us. I'm starting to think there's things called Earth Angels, which I can't find. I can't find a lot of research on, but something like that. But yeah, and then like being in the woods, if you like to be around trees and stuff like that. These are all signs of being in touch and being psychically in tune and having high intuition. Being closer to God or spirit. Hey Google, what did I want you to remember?
Here's what you told me. First, dragon, unicorn,
Hey
or
Google,
black
delete the
cat
first one.
Done.
And
It's
it's nothing to be
forgotten.
afraid of. And if you need somebody to talk to about these things, sometimes people don't have someone to just call. You can contact us. Hey Google, what did I want you to remember? We're all here to learn
Here's what you
and
told
love and
me.
teach.
First, Woods Electronic Socks by Bright Voices. Second,
Hey
no
Google,
clothes feet
stop. Okay, and then I've been seeing brightness again. I'm blind, like I said, but I've been seeing brightness, and I've been waking up and being. It's been like the bright of the sun around me, and even sometimes I pray, and it comes down. It's like the brightness of the sun, and it was even almost hurting my eyes one day. It was like so bright, but I'm blind, you know. And then yeah, some more words I was hearing here and there last week or two. I've been hearing just odd times of the night. I'll be laying there alone, and I'll just hear a word spoke or two words, and I usually will forget the word or I just can't make out what it is. But it's definitely activity going around. Hey Google, what did I want you to remember?
Here's what you told me. First, Woods Electronic Socks by
Hey
Bright
Google, delete
Voices.
the first one.
Done.
Hey
It's
Google, what
forgotten.
time is it?
It's 7:23 p.m.
Okay, so we've been 20. Yeah, like I said, I can't remember what I was gonna say. I don't know. Okay. Hey Google, what did I want you to remember?
Here's what you told me. First, no clothes feet children of now a soul diverse testicle.
Okay.
Second, Paul's history psychic church
Hey
time
Google,
travel.
delete the first one.
Done. It's forgotten.
Okay, so yeah, so diverse is diverse. Oh crap. Next gen. Neutral. Neurally diverse, or it's a new word out, which is another word for saying high sensory perception, or but I don't even like putting groups on all that stuff. I'm just gonna say I'm me. I do feel close to God, and more up there than I am down here with y'all, and that's what's different because I really didn't understand much anyway, because most of my block wasn't here when I was born, so and then my body's just breaking down because of the soul. The fire is so much in there. I'm on fire, and the body can't take it, and it's breaking down. But I made it. I'm almost 45. Even with the autoimmune disease and all the surgeries and being close to death 30 times or more, I've had 30 something people die that I knew or that was close to me, and I'm gonna keep going. Though, you know what I mean? And your soul's the most important thing you'll have. I wanted to let people know that. Don't let people get it. Don't let anything get to it. You have the free will and choice, and love's a choice, and so's the hate. And you gotta do what you gotta do. Fight fire with water. You know, respond. Don't react. You're in control. Just remember that you are in control, and believe in you if anything else, right? But God got you. God got me. Who got you, right? That's another Sullivanism I have. Hey Google, what did I want you to remember?
Here's what you told me. First, Paul's history psychic church time travel. Second, love bastard cat
Hey
6
Google,
by far.
stop. So yeah, I want to go and tell y'all I love you and hit up the show. Like I said, we're trying here. We got some celebrities on and done cameos for us, and be the light.